Guru Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Gurur Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Gurave Sarvalokanam Vishaje Bhavaroginam Nidhaye Sarva Vidyanam Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Hari Om. योगेन चित्तस्य पदेन वाचं मलं शरीरस्य च वैद्यकेन योपाकरोत्तं प्रवरं मुनीनां पतञ्जलिं प्राञ्जलिर्आनतोऽस्मि. Last week we were looking at the kleshas. The kleshas are the ones which are the sources of our misery. What are the kleshas? Avidya, asmita, raga, dvesha and abhinivesha. Among these, avidya or ignorance is the most important one because in the field of avidya, the other four impurities flourish. What is avidya? Avidya is this inability to see the separateness between the scenery and the seer. When the scenery and the seer are all mixed up and you can't differentiate between the two and you misidentify the scenery as the seer, that is avidya. And the very purpose of scenery is only to realize that you don't have a relationship with it. Your relationship with the scenery is like the relationship you have with the movie on the movie screen. The characters in the movie which you are watching on the television or on the movie screen. And to make you realize this is the only purpose of the scenery. Scenery is only there for your entertainment. It's only for you to move through your karmas. It has got no other purpose. And how do you overcome this inability? Through wisdom, through viveka, through practices. The practices are one which help you to separate yourself from the scenery. Viveka kyatihi aviplava hanopayaha. By the continuous flow of viveka is this ability to separate the scenery from the seer, the temporary from the permanent. When this continuously flows in you, then the kleshas will not trouble you. The another way is tasya saptada pranta bhumihi prajna. By moving your awareness through the 7 layers of existence or the 7 chakras and the energy body, then also you will be able to rise in awareness and overcome the impact of the kleshas. Or Yoga Anushtanat Ashuddhikshaye Gnana Deeptihi Viveka Kyatihi. Also by establishing yourself in yoga. What happens by establishing in the yoga anga anushthanat, in the limbs of yoga, by reposing in them, what happens? Ashuddhikshaye, the impurities in your antakarana will be eliminated, will be dissolved. Gnana Deeptihi, the light of knowledge shines Viveka Kyatihi. Through the Viveka. The Viveka also becomes very strong in you. What are these angas? Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi, Ashta Angani. So these are the 8 limbs of yoga. Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana and Samadhi. What are the yamas? There are 5 yamas. Ahimsa, Satya, Asteya, Brahmacharya, Aparigraha, Yamaha. Yamas means vows. So these are called the 5 great vows, vratas. Ahimsa. What is ahimsa? Ahimsa means practicing dropping of aggression in your attitude to life is ahimsa. Dropping the aggression in your attitude is ahimsa. Satya. What is Satya? Satya is being with what is. Being with that which is unchanging. Being with that which is eternal. That is Satya. Astheya. Astheya is non-stealing. Brahmacharya. Brahmacharya is focusing, keeping your focus not on the world but on the self. That is Brahmacharya. Moving towards the Brahman is Brahmacharya. Aparigraha. Aparigraha is not receiving anything from anybody. Every time you receive, you become obliged to that giver. Becoming free from obligations is aparigraha. These are the yamas. Jati desha kala samayan avichinnaha sarvabhauma mahavratam. These 5 are called as the great vows, and irrespective of in which womb you are born, what class of society you belong to, whether you are educated or not educated, whether you lived in the past in many centuries ago, or you are living now, or you will be living in the future, whether you live in a developed country or a poor country, irrespective of all these things, these vratas are applicable for everybody and are true in their nature in helping you to achieve samadhi. Ahimsa pratishtayam tat sannidhau vairatyaga. What is the consequence, the results of practicing these yamas? See, vrata means it's your discipline. If you say every Monday I do this puja, every Friday I do my kriya, every morning I brush my teeth, every Ekadashi I fast, all these are self-imposed disciplines. So similarly, you have to practice these vows, these pratas. So when you practice non-aggression, non-violence, what happens? Once you are established in this non-aggression, wherever you are, violence drops, violence disappears. Tat sannidhau vairatyagaha. People will not be able to be aggressive when in the presence of somebody who has dropped aggression. They won't be able to do anything. They feel completely powerless. Violence becomes powerless in some presence of somebody who is established in non-violence. Satya pratishtayam kriyafala ashrayatvam. When you are established in truth, in the unchanging eternal aspect of your existence, kriyafala ashrayatvam, your intentions start manifesting. All the power of existence lies within yourself. When you repose in that self, in that truth, an intention that arises immediately manifests, because the power is there straight away. The entire creation is nothing but the intention of the self, of the Brahman. And if you establish yourself in that, your intentions start manifesting. Kriya phala ashrayatvam. Asteya pratishtayam sarva ratnopasthanam. A thief can never be rich. You only thieve, you only steal when you feel that you don't have enough, or you something you can't get it through rightful means. You're trying to a shortcut to get it. So, when you get it, you can't display because you are afraid that somebody will find out that you have stolen. So, you can neither enjoy nor you can prevent yourself from stealing. So, you will never be able to be rich with the attitude of stealing. But when you drop this attitude of asteya, when you drop this attitude of stealing, of coveting, then Sarva Ratnopasthanam. All riches will come to you, all prosperity will come looking for you. Brahmacharya Pratishtayam Virya Labha. See, whenever you listen to knowledge, whenever you practice knowledge, whenever do you practice, see how you see the energy, the urja comes up in you. Brahmacharya is this constant focus on the Brahman, on that which is the source of all energy. When all your activities, all your energies are directed towards the Brahman, not towards the pleasure, towards the world which drains you, then you conserve that vital energy. That vital energy will give you the strength to let go of the world. Through this vital energy, your Viveka shines. Vairagya starts flourishing in you. So it's very essential to practice Brahmacharya. And what happens with that? Virya Labha. There is preservation of the vital energy. Aparigraha stairye janma kathanta sambodha. Aparigraha is non-receiving. See, our attitude in the world is to get whatever is available. Wherever you go, you see, what can I eat? You go to a wedding, you don't go to bless somebody, you want to go there to see what nice food I can get to eat. So, aparigraha is willingly not accepting anything from anybody. Every acceptance is a transaction. You will have to return the transaction one way or the other. It's not only you have to return the transaction, the returning can become a burden, because until that is completed, your karma account will not be emptied. So that is one other type of bondage. So when you stop receiving, what happens? The effect of this is Janma Katanta Sambodha. It brings back to you memories of past lives. So these are all like mathematical formulas. You do this, this is what happens. You do this, this is what happens. So when you focus on even one of these yamas and practice them sincerely over a significant period of time, these things will start happening in your life. Then we come to niyamas. Shaucha Santosha Tapaswadhyaya Ishvara Pranidhanani Niyamaha. Shaucha, cleanliness or purity. Santosha, joy, contentment. Tapa, endurance. Swadhyaya, reflection. Ishvara Pranidhana, surrendering to the higher self. These are the niyamas. Niyamas means what? You must follow this. Shaucha. Shaucha is purity, just cleanliness. You see, the more calm, contented, happy and relaxed you are, the more clean your surroundings are as well. Outer cleanliness is just a reflection of inner contentment, inner settlement. When there's so much of mess inside, then even the outer dirt will not appear as dirt for you. What happens with Shaucha? Shauchat swangai jigupsa paraihi asansargaha. This body which we have got so much attraction towards, just peel that skin and see what is inside. It is all disgusting. So when you practice Shaucha, external and internal purity, what happens? This body loses its attraction. The sense of disgust starts developing towards the physicality of existence. This body and the other body. So there is no craving towards the body. The attraction towards the body diminishes through Shaucha. Sattva Shuddhihi Saumanasya Ekagriya Indriya Jaya Atma Darshana Yogyatwanicha. And not only that, by the practice of cleanliness, what happens? Sattva Shuddhihi, pleasantness. Saumanasya is calmness, pleasantness and calmness. Ekagriya is ability to focus. Indriya Jaya, say over your senses. And all this, what do they read? Atma Darshana Yogyatva. The eligibility for realization of self comes through cleanliness, to purity. Purity in intentions, purity in actions. All these will bring these things. When can that purity be there? Sattva Shuddhi. How can it happen? through practice, through practices. With your sadhana, you will take away these impressions of insecurity and fear and lack, and then there is sense of abundance. There is contentment, pleasantness, calmness, focus, not being distracted easily, say over the senses. Santoshat anuttamaha sukhalabhaha. The highest joy is the joy of contentment. When does contentment come? Contentment comes when vairagya in you flowers. See, Vivekananda says in one of his lectures, the turning point of a seeker is when vairagya starts blossoming in him. You may practice for hundreds of years, you may practice for many months, many decades, but if you see that there is nothing much in you which is changing, that's because you have not developed this ability to let go of the samsara, let go of the world, let go of the pleasures. Unless this ability to let go comes, until then you can't experience the contentment. Until then there won't be a change in the depth of your practice, the depth of your meditation or samadhi. Santoshat anuttamaha sukha labhaha. Contentment brings the greatest joy, and the contentment, the source of it is vairagya. And where does vairagya arise from? Viveka kyatihi. Uninterrupted flow of viveka automatically brings vairagya, dispassion towards the worldly things. Kayendriya siddhihi ashuddhi kshayat tapasaha. What happens with the endurance? See, tapas, svadhyaya, ishvara, pranidhana are also part of the kriya yoga. So this is the one which makes your foundation very strong. Tapas, kaya indriya siddhihi ashuddhihi kshayat. You develop a say over the body and the senses. Ability to be still, ability to have a say over the senses comes through tapas, through endurance. Ashuddhi kshayat. Also in that fire of the tapas, the impurities burn away. The impressions burn. Svadhyayat ishtadevata samprayogaha. With constant self-reflection, introspection, what happens? Ishtadevata samprayogaha. The grace of your Ishtadevata starts happening in you, starts opening up in you. Samadhi siddhihi ishvara pranidhanat. And through that grace, what happens? You attain to samadhi. When you surrender to the Lord, that surrendering, that offering yourself completely will bring about samadhi, experience of equanimity. See, all these are so well related. If you practice your Shat Sampattis, the desire to become free, mumukshutva, will help you to look inside. Through that Swadhyaya, you will see that the Shat Sampattis can be strengthened. And with these strengthening Shat Sampattis, Viveka will blossom and Vairagya will strengthen. And then it becomes easy to be focused, easy to be in Samadhi. Samadhi Siddhihi Ishvara Pranidhana. Samadhi is attained through the grace of the Divine. These are the yamas and the niyamas. Then comes the asana. Sthira Sukham Asanam. What is asana? That posture which is steady and comfortable, that is asana. Asana is not struggling or being completely restless and unsteady in your posture. Even if you can sit cross-legged and be still like a statue, that is asana. You should be comfortable and you should be stable in that posture. Prayatna Shaitilyan Ananta Samapattibhyam. To get into the posture, a little bit of effort is needed. But when you make that effort and then let go, then the posture stays by itself and then you experience the infinity. Ananta Samapattibhyam. This you should practice in your asanas. You get into a posture, getting into the posture takes an effort, and then stay in that posture, and staying in that posture, think about the infinite formless existence that you are, and suddenly the effort dissolves and you experience that expansiveness. prayatna shaitilyan ananta samapatibhyam. In the posture, when the effort to be in the posture stops, then you experience the infinity. Tato dvandvan abhigataha. And at the same time, the duality ceases. In the posture, you are putting an effort to get into the posture. And once the posture is attained, then the doer disappears. The action and the doer merge, or the doer disappears and only the posture remains. Tato dvandvan abhigataha. See, these three, yama, niyama and asana, are mainly for the body. And now he comes to the mind. Pranayama. Sati shvasa prashvasayor gati vichchedaha pranayama. Before you practice pranayama, you should be able to practice being steady in your posture. And in that steadiness, if you are able to observe the pattern of your breathing and then break the innate pattern and breathe according to particular counts or in a particular type of way which is not innate to the movement of the mind, and that is called as pranayama. With the practice of pranayama, what happens? You have a say over the senses. You tame the mind. Pranayama is the tool with which you can tame the mind. Tatakshiyate prakashavaranam dharanasucha yogyata manasaha. Twofold benefits of pranayama. The self which is all illuminate is covered by a layer of ignorance, layer of maya. This curtain of maya starts becoming thinning down with the practice of pranayama. And dharana sucha yogyata manasaha. Dharana comes later on, and also you become able to get into dharana. It makes you qualified to experience dharana. That's why you have done samyama. You will notice the first thing that is taught to you is the different pranayamas. Pratyahara. Swasya vishaya samprayoge chittasya swarupanukara iva indriyanam pratyahara. The tendency of the senses is to move outside. This ability to reverse the direction of the movement of energy of the mind through the senses into the world back towards its source. Swasya swarupa anukara. To follow the source, your own true self. The mind moves through the senses into the world. This ability to turn this mind inward so that instead of moving out towards the senses, it moves inwards towards the self. This is pratyahara. All the guided meditations are pratyahara only. What do we do in the guided meditations? The mind that is scattered and outward is to bring it inward and inward and inward towards the source which you are, towards the source of the mind. Swarupa anukara iva indriyanam pratyahara. Then what is dharana? Desha bandha chittasya dharana. The mind is scattered and restless and all over the place. But if you are able to keep your focus on one thing, we observe all the areas where the mind is traveling, drop everything, just hold on to one thing, that is dharana. And this one thing could be anything. It could be a mantra, it could be the form of a master, it could be the picture of somebody whom you love, or it could be the target of your life as well. Whatever it is, if you can drop all the distractions of the mind and keep just one thing in your focus all the time, that ability is called dharana. Dharana literally means what? Wearing. You have a shower and come back, your wardrobe is full of clothes, you just pick one and wear it. So picking one thought and staying with it, the ability to stay with that thought is dharana. Tat pratyaya ekatanata dhyanam. So whatever you have picked, and staying with it, uninterrupted flow of your attention onto this one thought or one aspect of your existence is dhyana. They say it is like Taila Dharavat, Patanjali says. Taila Dharavat means what? When you pour oil, you see, or honey, how it flows down uninterruptedly like a string. Similarly, your ability to pour all your energy, all your attention on this one thing that you want to focus on, that is dhyana. Tadeva arthamatra nirbhasan swarupa shunyam iva samadhi. When you are able to do these two things, what? Drop all the distractions, hold on to one thing, and whatever you hold on, whatever you have chosen, to be able to pour an uninterrupted attention onto it, what happens? Nirbhasan arthamatran. All the form, swarupa shunyam iva, all the forms disappear. With the form, the meanings also disappear. Only the essence remains. Only the essence of the existence remains, like the presence remains. When you go deeper into samadhi, what happens? Everything disappears. Only when you are coming out of samadhi or getting into samadhi, you will become aware of the objects, the room, your body, the seat on which you are sitting. As you go deeper and deeper, what happens? Only the essence of these things remain, but the forms disappear. And that state where there is still the presence of existence, but the forms of the presence disappears, that is samadhi. And when these three come together, that state is called sanyama. When dharana, dhyana and samadhi, when they come together, this is samyama. So, yama, niyama, asana belong to the body. Pranayama, pratyahara to the mind. Dharana, dhyana and samadhi are again to the mind, but they are very subtle aspects of the mind, and these will establish you in the self. Trayam ekatra samyama. Samyama is that state where all these three are merged and they are steadily there. So this is the end of the chapter 2, Sadhana Pada. And then third chapter is all about siddhis. See, in the first chapter it was all about what should be attained. Samadhis to be attained. How to attain samadhi, or why you cannot attain samadhi? Because of all these kleshas. Why are there kleshas? Because the tendencies of the mind are not managed. And because of unmanaged tendencies, you have generated a lot of impressions which are lying in your karma account, and they are sprouting and giving you these kleshas. How do you overcome kleshas? Many ways. Through awareness by moving through the 7 chakras, or by uninterrupted flow of viveka, or by practicing these 8 limbs of yoga. And through them what happens? You overcome the ignorance, and when you overcome the ignorance, when you are able to be reposing in the self, in the seer, not in the scenery, then what happens? The power of the seer comes to you. These powers are called as siddhis. And these siddhis he explains in the next chapter. He explains in detail what all types of siddhis you can get through practice of samyama. And also he mentions, it does not fail to say that all these siddhis also are obstacles to you. You attain the siddhis, but don't get stuck with them. You have to pass it on. Only then you will move towards Kaivalya. That is the 4th chapter. It's called Kaivalya path. Is this clear? These are things which you have been practicing every day, day in, day out. This is just so that it brings a sense of awareness in you. What are all this? And also a few other things. It says pranayama, what does it do? Pratyahara, what does it do? Dharana, where it takes you. What does this particular yama do? What does this niyama do? Why should we practice purity, cleanliness? Why is cleanliness so important? All these things. So with this as your background, once you get into your sadhanas, you will be able to go much deeper into them. Okay? Om Namah Shivaya. Sahana vavatu, sahanau bhunaktu, saha viryam karavavahe, तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै. ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः, सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु, मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्. लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु, लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु, लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु. ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति.